عدنا إليكم من جديد مشاهدينا لعدد اليوم من الشروق مورنينج. حديثنا الآن عن إحدى المدارس التي ستفتح أبوابها في الجزائر ابتداء من الشهر القادم 23 أوت بإذن الله، المدرسة الأمريكية الدولية للجزائر العاصمة. للحديث أكثر بالتفاصيل عن هذا الموضوع معنا هنا في الاستوديو، وأسعد أن نستضيف معنا سعادة سفيرة الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية في الجزائر السيدة جوان بولاشيك، وأيضا أهلا بك.
صباح النور.
أهلا. وأيضا مديرة المدرسة الأمريكية الدولية بالجزائر السيدة جوديث تروتار. أهلا بك. Welcome. So I would like to thank you for being with us here in Shuruk Morning and at Shuruk as well News. And I had the opportunity last time to go and visit the school in Benaknoun. I took some footage. I invite you to watch with me the footage we take last time about the American International School of Algiers.
Great.
Bonjour, bienvenue. Welcome to the American International School of Algiers.
Thank you very much.
بدأت كفكرة خلال الدورة الثانية للحوار الاستراتيجي الجزائري الأمريكي في أبريل 2014 بالجزائر العاصمة. المدرسة الدولية الأمريكية بالجزائر تفتح أبوابها ابتداء من شهر أوت القادم، وجاءت نتاجا لعقد وقع بواشنطن من طرف سفير الجزائر مجيد بوغرا وآن باترسون مساعدة أمين الولايات المتحدة للشرق الأوسط. المدرسة الدولية الأمريكية بالجزائر ستقدم تعليما باللغة الإنجليزية طبقا للنظام التربوي الأمريكي. وسيفتح هذا المشروع آفاقا جديدة في العلاقات الثنائية بين الجزائر والولايات المتحدة في مجال التربية، نظرا لما تسخر به أمريكا في مجال التكوين العلمي والتكنولوجي، والذي بإمكان الجزائر الاستفادة منه، خاصة بعدما ذكره سفير الجزائر مجيد بوغرا في واشنطن أنه قد حان الوقت للجزائر أن تنفتح نحو تجارب جديدة.
So I had the opportunity to be there and to learn a little bit some lessons of music, xylophone as well. And I would thank you for teaching me how to play xylophone. I would like to start, first of all, with Your Excellency, Your Excellency, to talk about this project. So in 2012, Algeria and United States of America started a bilateral negotiation and talks in different areas, including education and research and science. Could we say today that the American International School of Algiers is the fruit of this talk?
Absolutely. And first, Yassine, I'd like to thank you for the invitation for Judith and me to appear on the show. And thank you also for your interest in the American International School of Algiers.
It's our pleasure.
As you noted, there have been discussions going on about the American School for a long time. And I think it was really, as you said, back in 2012, and as we really launched our bilateral strategic dialogue process, that the school really began to become a top priority for our two governments. And so in 2014, when Secretary Kerry came here for a strategic dialogue meeting with Foreign Minister Lamamra, the two sides agreed then that we would deepen our cooperation in the field of education and that we would open an American school. So now, 2 years later, we're in the process of doing that. And as you said, I think this is really the first step in our effort to expand the American educational opportunities here in Algeria, and hopefully with one day the goal of establishing even an American university here.
Yes, we'll talk about the American university, and hopefully one day it will be in Algeria.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. To talk more about the American International School in Algeria, with us is the director of this project, Ms. Judith Trotter. Is it all right?
Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Just like the xylophone.
Xylophone. I'm learning. I'm learning more.
You're learning very well.
So, to talk and to whom it may concern, the viewers, Algerians or foreigners in Algeria, what is the American International School?
Good question. The American International School is an American school. We have American teachers and we're using an American curriculum. But it's international because we hope our students are going to be coming from many different countries, including Algeria. We hope that our students learn to be global citizens from each other. It's going to be a challenging program, and the students need to be able to speak English in order to be admitted.
You talked that there will be international students in the school.
Yes.
Would you give us more details about the process, how you are willing to choose, or you already chosen some students to be part of this school? What is the process to be part of the American International School?
There are forms that parents fill out, and then we need to look at students' records from their former schools. And then we give an admissions test that is primarily a test for their language ability in English, but also it includes mathematics. And the main thing is, of course, we want the students to be successful.
Successful, hopefully. This kind of project sometimes takes time to be achieved, to see the light, if I may say. United States, if I may say, is a little bit not in the front when it comes to investment in this part, the educational part and the science and research. Was it hard to go back and open this kind of project here in Algeria?
Well, I think we need to put U.S.-Algeria bilateral cooperation in perspective, and particularly in the educational sphere. We previously had an American school here in Algiers, which unfortunately we had to close in the 1990s. So thankfully, as the situation here has stabilized and improved, and alhamdulillah will continue to get better and better, we within the U.S. Embassy community have been able to expand and develop our presence, which in turn allows us to expand and develop our cooperation. And education cooperation, science cooperation, technology cooperation, that is an area in which I feel that we can still do a lot more. The embassy is already very engaged in English language education, and I want to stress that the American International School will not be focused on that. It will be an American school that is taught in English, but it will not be a school to learn English. But we have programs throughout all of Algeria, our Access English language programs. We have exchange programs where we send Algerians to the United States and bring Americans here. So we're very excited to do more and more with time.
You spoke earlier that we are hoping, both sides, American and Algerian, to one day open the American university. We can witness that there is many of them in Arabic countries around us. Are we willing to see this project being concretized in the near future?
I think there's a great deal of interest on both sides. It's a little complicated because it's not a bilateral government-to-government initiative. The United States, unlike Algeria, for example, does not have a Ministry of Higher Education. But we're working with partners within the Algerian government to help set up programs with individual U.S. universities. For example, we have a great program in the domain of journalism with the University of Missouri, which is one of our best universities for journalism. It was a very successful program, and we're now in the process of negotiating with the Algerian government phase 2. And I think those kinds of sister university programs will help create more knowledge and understanding of Algeria, and then the interest that will bring more American universities here.
If I understood it well, so we could see in the near future the University of Missouri, in this case, coming to Algeria to open 50-50%?
No.
Not yet.
That's a very far dream.
Okay.
What exists right now is a series of exchanges that have taken place between the University of Missouri, between their faculty and students, and Algerian counterparts. And we would like to continue that so that there are exchanges. And I think that with time, as the universities get to know each other better, that will open up further avenues for cooperation. And there are also other small partnerships here and there throughout Algeria with other American institutions. But I think that's the first building block. And I also think that this American school is going to be another important building block, because as more and more Algerians are educated in English and able to succeed in an American educational system, there will be more of a market, frankly, for American universities here.
Talking about the curriculum, the American curriculum being taught in the American International School, could you give us more details about what is going to be taught in the American School, International School, after the opening next month?
Yes. We're following a curriculum called AERO, which stands for American Education Reaches Out. And we're also very closely aligned with the curriculum in New York. Keep in mind that in the United States, there are 50 states and 50 slightly different educational programs. But what they have in common is that there's a huge emphasis on school being student-centered, not teacher-centered. We don't put an emphasis on memorization. We put an emphasis on becoming creative problem solvers and thinkers, and people who are committed to lifelong learning. So all of that is built into our curriculum, and it's not just what is the curriculum, but how is it taught.
Exactly. I was going to ask you a question about it. In order to get to this goal and this point, you need a very skilled teachers in order to teach students or pupils in the school. Is there any Algerian, or another way, how did you choose the teachers who are going to teach in the American International School?
Okay. Well, in order for us to start this program and deliver this program, we have to make sure that our teachers are from the United States, our main teachers are from the United States. We are going to be offering Arabic to our Algerian students, and of course we look forward to finding dynamic Algerian teachers to teach Arabic and possibly French. So the teachers that we've hired now that are coming and are very excited to be coming are all educated in the United States, but they have experience in international schools. All of them have been working in international schools recently, so they're used to working with different nationalities, but they're also very familiar with this particular kind of way to educate children, which is very important because children cannot sit back and just take notes. They have to be active and they have to really actively learn.
To get involved in the system of the educational system.
Exactly. To ask questions. And
ask. It's part of our job as well as journalists. We ask more questions. My following question will be, since the American International School will be welcoming, we'll say kids around 5 to 6 years old?
From 5 to 12.
To 12. Or I would say, in the future, since we don't have American universities in Algeria, are those pupils in the future would have more opportunities to go and study in American universities in the United States?
Well, that's our hope, that we'll be graduating classes of students who have an American education, who have the language skills to succeed. Unfortunately, right now, we have very small numbers of Algerian students studying in U.S. universities, and I think there are several reasons for that. But number one is probably language, because English, unfortunately, is not so widely spoken here. And also, as Judith explained, it's a kind of different educational system that we have in the United States. But I hope that you and all of your viewers understand that we already have a very robust system of educational exchanges in place. We have programs where there are Algerian high school students who are spending about 6 weeks this summer in the United States. We, of course, have undergraduate exchange programs and graduate exchange programs. So if anyone is interested in studying in the United States, I hope that they'll check out the U.S. Embassy's website, our Facebook page, and apply for these great programs.
Yeah, we had many messages coming to our Facebook page asking about programs that U.S. Embassy is offering for Algerians, and we did put the link to the website.
Perfect. Thank you.
They are welcome. The Algerian, I would say, the American International School in Algeria is opening in 2016. But before that, there is a presence of other schools, of other institutions here in Algeria from different countries. We have already a Saudi international school here, French as well. Is there any other goal behind being present in a market, in foreign market, for a state or a country like United States or other country?
Well, first I want to clarify that this is not a market decision. Our American International School of Algiers is a non-profit institution. It's also non-governmental. So in that respect, it's very different, I think, than other international schools that exist here. And for the U.S. Embassy, it's important to have an American school here because we need it to attract diplomats here. And it has been a real problem for us, I think, since the 1990s, as we've been trying to normalize our embassy. It's hard to attract staff with families if they don't have a place to educate their children. So for us, that was an important internal goal. But I think for Algeria, this is also a very, very important thing to have an English-speaking American school here, because Algeria seeks to open up and reform and diversify its economy and attract more foreign direct investment. You need a school where people can do their studies in English. And in fact, one of our Algerian partners who has provided an initial donation to the school told us that he is supporting the school because he's having a hard time attracting expatriate employees to Algeria because they have no place to educate their English-speaking children. So I think that this is going to be a really good thing for the Algerian economy because all of a sudden we're going to have a place where foreigners who are interested in doing business here in Algeria, interested in investing, interested in developing the economy, can actually educate their children.
So we would say that many people are going to go to the American International School. It's good for the school, but on the other side, how many people the school is willing to welcome?
As many as we can handle. Right now, we're starting to test. You know, the school has only been a reality for a couple of months now, so we're testing. And of the students that we've admitted so far, we have some Americans, but we also have a student from Korea and students from Italy, student from Morocco, students from Algeria.
You have some Algerians.
They are returning to Algeria. They were working overseas, so we have one student who's half Algerian and another student who's coming from Dubai. Okay. But we're still testing, and the student right now we're also in communication with a family from Spain. So that's why we call ourselves international. It's going to be wonderful.
School, and you're offering a very specific curriculum, as you said earlier. You said it. How was it called?
EchouroukTV.
EchouroukTV.
Yes, you can find that on our website.
On your website. Are you willing in the future to? We're talking here the exchange, and my question will be for you and for you as well, Your Excellency, about the exchange in the field of education. This kind of curriculum is very, I would say, is successful, very successful in the United States, and it's been applied in many and various schools around the world. Are you willing in the future to have this kind of exchange in this kind of field, the field of education?
This is my dream. I keep saying this to everybody. You know, it's not easy to start a school, and we're working very hard because our focus now is on the children. But my goal and my dream is that as we grow, our teachers will be able to have more interaction with the Algerian teachers, sharing ideas, seminars. To me, this is the most wonderful way for us to learn about each other through the field of education and to make an impact on the educational program, both here and in the United States.
This is in the
Sorry, if I could just add,
Go ahead.
I mean, I think it's important also to think about the spirit in which this agreement was signed between our two governments to create this school. And as I said earlier, when you look back at the 2014 Strategic Dialogue Communique, our two governments said exactly what Judith said, that it is our desire to have enhanced exchanges in the area of education. So the school is really, I think, an important building block in that process. And as the school grows and expands, the embassy certainly will be very supportive of Judith and the team's efforts to have exchanges with Algerian counterparts and to share best practices from the educational realm.
Especially after what I caught here, the ambassador of Algeria in Washington, he said that it is time for Algeria to learn from other experiences. End of quote here. Is there any formal negotiation dialogue here in Algeria with the Minister of Education, for instance, in order to achieve, because it's what the school is willing to achieve in the future, but in the ground here in Algeria, where is, if I may say, the dialogue today in this field, the field of education?
Well, let me make sure that we're separating two things. One is the school, which exists and is an independent entity, and of course we have contact with the Ministry of Education regarding the school, but that's kind of separate from our policy discussions. So we have regular contact with both the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Higher Education, regarding the whole range of our bilateral cooperation. And of course, the kind of crown and the jewel of our cooperation is our strategic dialogue, which has a working group that's focused on exactly these issues.
Is there, because I'm trying to get more information about our system and how it may, how to say, get more positive ideas and get the experience of the American experience in this curriculum, the American curriculum that is taught in the American International School. I had the opportunity, I would say again, to visit it and to see the classrooms, to see the music classroom, which I liked as well. You did say that they would have the opportunity to learn Arabic and also Algerian history. Is it going to be for the whole student in the Algerian, in American International School?
The agreement states that the school needs to provide Arabic and Algerian culture, history with the Algerian students. Well, I don't feel like we're compelled to teach Arabic at this young age to other students, but I do feel that we're compelled from our hearts to provide a lot of experience regarding this host country. It's such a rich country with beautiful art, geography. So we're doing everything we can, both within the curriculum and just in naming our floors.
Yeah, I like that.
Did you like that?
Yes.
We're very excited about that.
So,
so we have multi-levels,
Mm-hmm.
and each level from at the basement level is the farthest south, and we move up. Our art room is on the Tassili floor, and our offices are in Timimoun, and our roof is the Mediterranean. So we're doing everything we can to try to honor the beauty, the culture, the geography. And I think every student, whether they're from Morocco or Spain or Italy, needs to appreciate Algiers and Algeria.
Great, so it's a good opportunity. Before ending this interview, so for the people who are interested to be part of this school, the question, is it for free or is it not?
It's not, I'm afraid. And I'm sure everybody's saying, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. All I can say to you is that it's very similar to an American international school anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, it costs a lot of money to run an American school. You have to pay salaries, you have to find property. You know, renting the villa itself is expensive. Finding housing for the teachers, flights, buying all of our supplies in the United States. We don't make a profit. We simply do the best we can. And you know, it is expensive. And the children that are coming to our school, most of them, the tuition is being paid by their company or
by their government.
Yes.
Part of this tuition, which is almost 25,000,
yes.
I would say, goes to a fund, school
the
fund.
Capital fees.
Capital
yes.
for in the future to have your own building.
Yes.
Can you give us more details about this?
It's typical of an international school to have a capital fund, and that's usually with the idea that maybe down the road they're going to be able to build their own facility, and if not, then they're going to add to it. Maybe they're going to have to build other buildings, or maybe they're going to have to, you know, put in more money on the property. So that's what that's for. We can't spend it for books or xylophones. We have to spend it on the building.
Yes. As you saw, Yassine, when you visited the school,
yes,
it's
nice.
Beautiful, but it's not very big.
Exactly.
And it's our goal that the school will grow very quickly. And in order to then expand the school to include more grades, we will need to look eventually at other facilities. So that's an important part of our long-term strategic planning process for the school.
To have your own building. In the end, the strategic dialogue between the United States and Algeria is still going on. The next step will be next year?
Well, we've been in discussions with the Algerian government about setting a date for the next round of the strategic dialogue. But I would emphasize that regular discussions happen all the time between our two governments. And in fact, this weekend, we're welcoming the Deputy Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, here to Algeria, and he will have a series of high-level meetings with very critical, key, important officials here in Algeria, and we're looking forward to working hard on all aspects of our bilateral agenda.
What are the main, topics in the next round of this strategic talk between Algeria and the United States?
Well, our strategic dialogue is focused around four working groups. One is focused on regional security, another is focused on political issues, another on economic issues, and another on education. And so the embassy team here, and of course the Algerian embassy team in Washington, we're working very hard every day with our government counterparts to advance our agenda in all of those areas.
In the end, I would have to thank you both, Your Excellency Joan Polaschik, sorry, the United States Ambassador in Algeria. Thank you very much for being with us. If you want a last word for the viewers.
Well, I would like to thank you again, Yassine, for the opportunity to talk about the American School. As I think you could tell from both Judith and me, we're very excited about this. We are looking forward to welcoming many, many students there in just a few weeks. And I'd also like to extend my thanks to the Algerian government. This really is a partnership, and they have been tremendously helpful both in negotiating the terms of the agreement and in helping the school get set up, because it's a lot of work. And as Judith always reminds me, normally this is something that we do over a full year, and we're doing it in 6 months. And we could not have done this without the full support of the Algerian government, and of course without our very dynamic director, Judith Durtar.
Thank you.
The last word is for you.
Well, I haven't thanked you properly. It's been wonderful being here. It was wonderful having you at the school, and I really invite you to come back when we have children and you can actually see what's going on, because it's going to be very exciting. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's our job, and it was a pleasure as well for me and for our crew to have you both here, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. And Director, thank you very much for being with us. إن كان هذا مشاهدينا الحوار الذي عدناه مع سعادة سفيرة الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية في الجزائر السيدة جوان بولاشيك، وأيضا مديرة المدرسة الأمريكية الدولية في الجزائر السيدة جوديث دروتار. بهذا نصل إلى ختام اليوم من المورنينج. إلى اللقاء.